So hello everyone and I welcome you all to APJ Academy, where we are nurturing the young minds to become doctor and engineers, just like you will become doctor and engineers in the near future. And in today's class we are going to discuss very important topic, which is none other than Newton's laws of motion. So if you do not know about the Newton's laws of motion, don't worry. We will cover everything, each and every aspect we will cover in this video, and this will be very beneficial for your upcoming exams of JEE and NEET. So is I am audible, visible? So before we proceed, I want you all to please rate the quality of broadcast. If my audio and video, everything is clear to you, you can mark this as 10. If anything, any issue you are seeing that if my audio and video is not clear, you can rate accordingly. If everything fine, you can mark this as 10. Okay, so let's go, let's move. But before proceeding, I want to introduce myself. My name is Manoj. I am physics educator on APJ Academy, and I'll be covering your complete JEE course on this YouTube channel. I have 8+ years of teaching experience, and previously I was associated with many renowned coaching institutes in India and online. And I guided more than 1 lakh students online, and offline I guided more than 10,000 students. And in this 8 years journey, I produces many ranks in JEE and NEET. So it's now time for you to crack JEE with the help of APJ Academy. And I'm taking regular lectures on this YouTube channel, and I regularly says that winners and losers have same goals. Everyone who is filling the form of JEE wants to crack JEE exams, isn't it? Nobody is filling the form to fail in the exam. But the basic difference between the winner and loser, the basic difference between who got selected and who got rejected in JEE, and basic difference between one who gives the JEE advance and who do not get selected in the JEE advance exam, is the one who is not following the process. So it's not about the goal, it's about the process which you are following. And the process here on APJ Academy, which we are building, is that we are providing you a complete structured schedule so that you won't miss your classes, you won't miss your consistency, your motivation will be consistent throughout the session. So we are conducting a structured course here only on this YouTube channel. So I want you all to please subscribe this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you won't miss our future updates. And let's start the journey of Newton's laws of motion. Basically, Newton's laws of motion comes in the dynamics part in physics. What is dynamics, sir? Earlier, sir, you were discussing the kinematics, where we were discussing about the motion, we were discussing about the displacement, we were discussing about velocity, acceleration, and all these things. But simultaneously, we were ignoring the value of force. We were not considering the forces which were applied on the body. So what we were going to discuss in dynamics. So if I need to give a very short description for the dynamics part, I'll be saying that in dynamics, we will be considering the forces acting on the body which is producing the motion, right? So here we will study the forces acting on the body and resulting in the motion. So here we will be considering the forces as well. And it's none other than Newton who observed all these phenomena and encapsulated all these phenomena into the laws, the 3 laws which he had given in 1686. So are you seeing that? He make all these laws in 17th century, and here in the 21st century we are studying it and utilizing all the golden 3 rules which he had formulated. And here we have to not just only learn that what is 3 laws of motion, but also we need to learn that how to apply these laws of motion in solving various problems in day-to-day lives, which will be very helpful for clearing the JEE exams, right? So I'll not be taking your most crucial time for discussing irrelevant facts. So I'll be discussing everything in very crisp manner, right? So wait a minute. And as I told you that only three laws are here. Only three laws are here. And in JEE exam, nobody will be going to ask you that what is first law of motion, what is second law of motion, what is third law of motion. Basically, they will be asking you that what are the consequences of these laws of motions and how you are going to apply. But before going into the application part, we must know that what does this motion implies, right? So you must know that what are these motion. The first laws of motion is related to the kind of initiation of the motion, and we also said this laws as law of inertia. The first law says that if on a body net force is equals to 0, if on a body net force is equals to 0, then acceleration must also be 0. The body will not accelerate. The acceleration means nothing but the change of velocity, right? Acceleration is nothing but the change of velocity. So that means that we will be having either constant velocity, either this implying either we are having constant velocity, that means uniform motion, that implies uniform motion, or we are having rest. The object is at rest. So first law signifies these things only. And the other thing as well, we can include the B part, that if net force acting on a body is not equals to 0, then there will be acceleration. No one can stop this acceleration if the net force is not equals to 0. If there is some finite value we are getting the net force on an object, if it is not equals to 0, then the force will accelerate. Then it means that the velocity will be changing, and we will be calculating that part only. So here the first law, which is also known as law of inertia, it only implies these 2 points. These 2 points are very important if you are preparing for JEE, and these are the only points which will be very beneficial while we were solving the question, right? So there are only 2 conditions. F net is equals to 0, either it will be 0, it will not be equals to 0. If it is 0, that it means acceleration is equals to 0, and acceleration 0 signifies that either it is moving with the constant velocity, means the velocity is not changing, as we know that the acceleration formula is nothing but the change in velocity, the rate of change of velocity, and if velocity is not changing, that means v is equals to u, that means delta v is equals to 0, acceleration is equals to 0. And the next part is that the body is at rest, right? So this is the Brahm Gyan for the first laws of motion, and this is how we will be going to write this thing, that an object will be at rest if it is not acted by an unbalanced force, right? I hope everything is clear to you. Now, there are so many applications, examples which you can explain using the first law of motion, right? Here we are having an example. If you are seeing here, we are having a ball, and we had placed one obstacles there, and we were put some balls or anything, any coin there. If we are moving this block very rapidly, then these balls or the coins will fall into the glass. These will not move with the object. Why? Because of due to inertia of motion, right? Inertia of rest, inertia of motion, these are the 2 inertia. So due to inertia of rest, these will come down, right? Similarly, here one passenger who is none other than the Spider-Man, local Spider-Man, he is deboarding from the bus, and due to his law, which part? It is inertia of motion, right? He is not able to stop instantly when he is touching the ground. So this is inertia of motion. This is inertia of rest. This is inertia of motion. So these are the examples which we can give. Next. So if I sum up all these things, whatever I told you, you can write it down as that any change requires some force. If you want to change the state of body, either the object will be at rest, either the object will be moving, right? So if you want to change the state of the body, so you need to add some forces. You require some forces. Either train insane or remain same. This is the ultimate motivational quote which you will find in many gyms. Either train insane or remain the same. Similarly, I can follow this, or you all can follow this for the JEE exam. Either train insane with the guided like me, or you have to remain same, right? If you really want to crack the JEE exam, you want the guide who will be motivating you, who will be assisting you at every path of your life, right? So we get to know that for starting the object or for stopping the object, Newton's first law is applicable. Now, here there is one question, very important question. So the question is asking you that an astronaut accidentally gets separated. Okay. So imagine that there is one ship. There is interstellar space, right? Here you will find this. There is interstellar space. Interstellar space means where you will not be finding any celestial body around. So there will be no gravitational force acting on you. So when there is no interstellar space, there one ship is moving. One spaceship is moving. The acceleration of the ship is 100 meter per second square, right? So its velocity will be continuously changing. Its velocity will be continuously changing. Initial velocity will be different from the final velocity. Final velocity will be different from the initial velocity, because this spaceship is accelerating with the acceleration of 100 meter per second. But if you consider that one astronaut jumps from the ship, and when the astronaut jumps from the ship, his velocity will be same as that of the spaceship, right? When he just instantly steps out of the ship, his velocity will be same as that of the ship. But in the question is asking about that what is the acceleration of the astronaut the instant after he is outside. That what will be the acceleration? His velocity will be same. His velocity will be same as that of the spaceship. But what about the acceleration? His acceleration will be equals to 0. Why 0, sir? Because there you won't find any celestial body or that would be providing you the gravitational force. There is no celestial body present around in the interstellar space that will be providing you the gravitational force. So in this space we do not get any celestial body. So when there is no celestial body, that means there is no force acting on the body. F net is equals to 0. I can simply say that F net is equals to 0, applying the first law of motion, and I can say that the acceleration will be 0. Are you getting this point? Let's move. Next. We all know that everything around us is made up of matter. Whatever we are seeing can be considered as a matter. So matter is nothing but that has mass and that occupies space is matter. And we know there are some other important definition associated with the matter. What we are considering when we are studying the physics, we are considering that the object is changing its position with the space-time graph. When the object is changing its position from one point to another point, that means that the object is having some velocity associated with that also. And we were basically talking about matter only, so that will be having some mass. And when I provide some velocity to that, can I name some property associated with that body? Yes, there is momentum. Momentum is nothing but the product of mass and the velocity of the body, right? So we will be considering this as momentum is equals to mass and the velocity, product of mass and velocity. This is very important. Why? Because from now onwards, we will be talking about momentum only. We won't be talking about velocity. We won't be talking about the mass. We will be considering them as individual factor as well. But mainly, we will be considering them collectively as momentum. So I am saying that if the object is having same momentum, then it can be achieved by varying the mass. If I am saying that the object is having more mass and the momentum is conserved, then I will be saying that it will be having less velocity. And if the object will be having less mass, it will be having more velocity. If I am considering that the object will be having the same momentum. Is everything fine here? And also, the inertia of body, the inertia of a body is directly proportional to the mass. So it is very difficult to move a heavy object. And also, it is very difficult to stop the heavy object, isn't it? It is very difficult to start the heavy object to start moving. So it is very difficult to change the state of object having very large inertia, and inertia is directly proportional to mass. I hope that these things are clear to you. And now we are moving towards second law of motion. Second law of motion is the real law of motion. Why? Because through this I can derive the other laws as well. I can derive the third law, I can derive the first law as well. So basically it says that the F net, when F net is not equals to 0, then what will happen? It means F net is equals to mass into acceleration. Or I can say that F net is proportional to rate of change of momentum. Rate of change of momentum. So these are the 2 points which you must be knowing, first and second. And it can be easily derived if I am saying that F is proportional to dp by dt. dp means change in momentum. So I can write this as mv minus mu divided by total time. I can consider this as t. I can change this as mv minus u divided by t. V minus u is nothing. V minus u is nothing but a, right? So it can be considered as F is equals to kma, and taking k is equals to 1, we can consider this as F is equals to ma. So in most of our question we will be considering F is equals to ma or F is equals to dp by dt as our basic criteria for the second law of motion. So second law of motion states that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force and takes place in the direction in the force acts. जिस direction में force लग रही होगी उसी direction में ये act करेगी. I hope that these things are clear to you. I am giving you very precisely, I am telling you very precisely that what is these laws are, because in reality we have to just know that how to apply these concepts in real life and in real practical numericals. I hope all these things are clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can comment below. And there can be many examples which can be easily explained using the second law of motion. How? As I told you, that second law of motion states that the force acting on a body is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. I can say that if I am increasing the time, then the force will be less. If anyhow you are increasing the time, the force will be less. Imagine that you are preparing for JEE exam, and by default the 2 years preparation is more than sufficient to clear this JEE exam. But your parents are very cautious about your future, and you started your journey from class 9th only, and you studied for 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th for cracking this exam JEE. So for these 4 years you will be studying all about the JEE, and so you increase the time, the force which you require to crack that exam will be decreased, isn't it? Right? And imagine that you have to crack the class 12th exam. So for clearing the class 12th exam, you will be having 1 year only. If you really want to crack, if you have 2 years of time, then your force required for that will be decreased, right? So there are so many practical applications which you can relate, and that will help you to analyze these things, that these are also applicable in the real life scenario as well. So here, coming to the real part only, we have Chinese wares and glasses are usually wrapped in airbags. So what does these airbags does to the body? Basically, they results into the increase in time. Right? So they increase the time due to which the force acted on the particles that or acted on the body will be decreased. Similarly, the helmets. So it increases the time due to which the force will be decreased. So these are the only things which you need to know for your JEE exam. Let's move. So what is the Brahm Gyan? What is the Brahm Gyan for these things? So Brahm Gyan is that if something is changing, force is there. That is the important thing which we had already discussed. So if you are slow, then force is less. If you are going at the same speed, force is 0. So second law of motion, basically I also said that it is the law of injury. Why? Because usually in the conceptual questions, wherever you have been asked that why we are using this as a safety appliance, then you will be amazed by the fact that in every question we will be using the second law of motion. Why? You can consider any safety appliance, any safety device. Basically in safety device, what is our main goal is to increase the time. And when we are increasing the time of collapse, time of fall, we are basically decreasing the forces, right? These are very important things which you need to remember. And then there is last law, which is very important. It is Newton's third law of motion. It states that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, but this is not as simple as that, what I am saying. There are some important points related to these. So these are basically 5 conditions which you must know, that forces must be equal. If I am applying some 12 Newton force as an action, the reaction must also come for the 12 Newton force. And these forces must be in the opposite direction. If I am applying action in eastward direction, then the reaction will be in the westward direction, right? So this is the third. F12 is equals to F21. Nature of the forces will be same. If I am applying the mechanical force, if I am applying the action force as the mechanical force, the reaction will also be a mechanical force. It won't change into the electromagnetic force or some other forces like nuclear forces. Basically, there are 4 types of forces we have, right? Gen means gravitational force, electromagnetic forces, nuclear forces, weak nuclear force, and strong nuclear force. So basically, there are 4 types of forces, right? And fifth and most important point, that the line of action must be same. So these are the four forces which I told you: nature of forces, gravitational force, electromagnetic force, weak nuclear force, strong nuclear force. In most of the part, we will be considering electromagnetic force only, right? Gravitational force, you can easily identify it. Whenever we are taking the masses of the body, then only the gravitational force will act. Whenever we are talking about very small things inside the nucleus, inside the atom, there we will only be considering the nuclear forces, and other than that, in every situation we will be considering electromagnetic forces only. So in our course of Newton's laws of motion, we will be considering electromagnetic force. I think that these things are clear to you, and there are many examples which you can easily explain using the third law of motion, like the propulsion of the rocket, right? So rocket is applying some force here, and the action will result into the getting the escape velocity so that it can move to the other planet, exoplanets. And next, like the normal walking, what we are doing is also due to the third law of motion. We are applying some force to the earth, and the earth is applying some force to us, right? And the acceleration is happening to us, not to the earth. Why? I am saying that we are having earth, and here are you, and your feet are very small, and you are applying your feet, you are applying some force, and when you are applying some force on the earth, earth will be applying that same force, isn't it? If you are applying force F 12 Newton, earth will be applying the 10 newtons, but the mass of earth is m, the mass of here is m, and we know that according to the second law of motion, F is equals to ma, so acceleration will be equals to F upon m. So I am saying that according to third law of motion, force will be same, right? Force will be same, but the masses are different. These masses are different, and if this mass is low, acceleration will be high. If mass is low, acceleration will be high. I hope that you are easily getting that who will be going to accelerate. Only us will be going to accelerate, because our mass is very less as compared to the mass of earth. I hope that everything is clear. Let's move. And this is the Brahmgyan of Newton's laws of motion's third law, that if action is on you, the reaction will be on other object. Law of internal motivation, revamp, we can say that many a time students got confused about the action and reaction. They will be imagining that when we are applying some force on one object, the other force is also applying the action, means the reaction. If we are doing the action, the other object is doing the reaction. So if the magnitude of both these forces are same, then why not the force will be cancelled out? Because keep remember this one point, that force can only be cancelled. Write a note here, that force can only be cancelled if they are acting on one object or body. Force can only be cancelled if that is acting on one body or one object. It can't be cancelled if it is acting on other different bodies. Like if I am telling you that force, this ball is providing some action, and action is happened on that, reaction happens on that, so it won't cancel out, because action and reaction are happening on two different bodies. So this is very important, so it won't cancel out. Next thing, Next thing is that there is a question and you have to solve this question, right? So question is very simple. Here we are having a heavy particle of mass 0.5 kg. See, only 0.5 kg, and this is saying that there is heavy particle. No problem. It is fixed from a string fixed with the roof. Find the force exerted by the string on the particle. So if we know that body पे लगता weight, उम्र के साथ बढ़ता पेट, direction will be same. The force of gravity will be acting on that body, and this will be mg. The force by the string will balance this force, isn't it? Because as we are seeing that this bob is not moving anywhere. I'm having one bob for you. So this is like that, right? If this is not moving at all, then what will happen? The force which is acting on downward will be equal to the force which is acting upward, right? Both these forces will be equal. So similarly, I can say that the force exerted by the spring will be equals to mg, and this will give us that 0.5 into, I can put this as 9.8 because this is given in the question that I have to substitute this as 9.8, and the unit of force is Newton. I can easily calculate this as 9.8 into 5, right? So 8 5 are 40, 9 5 are 45, 49, and you can substitute this as, so it will be 4.9 Newton, right? This is the force which you can calculate. Let's move. Now here's one another question. The question is saying that a bullet of mass 0.04 kg moving with a speed of 90 meters per second enters a heavy wooden block and it is stopped after traveling a 60 centimeter distance. So imagine that we have a wooden box and we are also having one bullet which is having a mass of 0.04 kg. Its velocity is 90 meters per second, and it enters into this wooden box, and the distance it travels is 60 centimeter. So I can write this as 60 into 10 to the power of minus 2 meter. I can write this as 0.6 meter. So displacement is 0.6 meter, mass is 0.04 kg, velocity is this, and after u, I can consider this as u. Why u? Because this is the initial velocity with which the bullet enters into the wooden box, and after completing this distance, the final velocity will be 0 meter per second. And if you have studied the kinematics with me, then you will be knowing that only 5 variables are there in kinematics which are UV set. Only these 5 parameters exist, and out of these 5 parameters, 3 parameters will always be given to you. So here what we are having this U, we are having this UV, we are having this A, and we can calculate these, we are having this S. We can calculate acceleration and time using the equations of motion, and if we calculate the acceleration, we can easily find out the resistive forces, because the resistive forces is nothing. We have our formula mass into acceleration, right? So if I got the acceleration or the deceleration happening on the bullet, I can easily find out the resistive force acting on the bullet by the block, right? So mass I already have, that this is the mass of the bullet, so I need to find out the acceleration, and for finding the acceleration I have to use the equations of motion. So how many equations of motion I have? 3. Only 3 equations of motion I have. So which is none other than v minus u is equals to at. Second is s is equals to ut plus half at square. And the third is v square minus u square is equals to 2as. So these are the three equations which I am having, and I need to use these three equations of motion just to find out the acceleration. So out of these three, I can use one equation to get the answer. So I'll be choosing that equation in which these three variables will be used. So out of these, which I can use the third equation, right? I can use the third equation, v square minus u square is equals to 2as. So here I can find out that v square minus u square is 2s. So acceleration is minus 90 into 90 divided by 2, and s is 0.6, right? So this is the acceleration which we are getting. And we can substitute this acceleration here to get our answer of resistive force. Mass is already given to us 0.4. Negative sign shows that this is the resistive force, means it is acting in the opposite direction in which the velocity is going, right? So I can write this as 90 into 90 divided by 2 into 0.6, right? So I can cut this 0.02. I can also cut this and write this as 100, right? So I can cut this as 0.3. I can cut this 180. Minus 180 Newton is the answer. So minus 180 is the answer. You can check the calculation and do let me know that whether you are getting this answer or not. Now coming to the next part, coming to the good part. So here also we are having one question which is very important for your JEE exam. Basically I am in today's class, I am building your concept that how to utilize all these Newton's laws of motion, and in the next class we will be solving some other questions from the previous year. So here a block of mass 2 kg placed on a long frictionless horizontal table is pulled horizontally by a constant force F. It is found to move 10 meters in the first 2 seconds. Find the magnitude of the force. So here we are having one question in which it is given that we are having a mass which is 2 kg. We are having a mass which is 2 kg on a long frictionless horizontal table is pulled by a constant force. We are applying some force here, right? And it moves. Displacement is given 10 meter. Initial velocity is 0. And in the first 2 seconds means time is given, right? So these are the things which is given to us. Find the magnitude of the force. We have to find this magnitude, and the force is nothing but the mass into acceleration. We already know. So also we know that in kinematics we have 5 variables UV set, and out of these 5 variables we are having this S, we are having this T, and we are having this. This is not given, this is not given. So these two things are not given to us, and we have to find out acceleration. And as I told you in the previous question that we are having v minus u is the first equation is v minus u is equals to 80. Second equation is s is equals to ut plus half 80 square, and third equation is v square minus u square is equals to 2as. So we are having 3 equations, and out of these 3 equations we have to use one equation through which we can calculate the acceleration A, and we have these values with us. These three values are given to us. So out of these three equations, which equation is very helpful for me? And I'm getting that if I am using this S is equals to ut plus half at square, I can easily find out. If I'm cancelling this u, because u is 0, I can say that acceleration is nothing but it is 2s divided by t square, right? So it is nothing but 2s by t square. So substituting the values, I can get acceleration is 2 into 10 divided by 2 into 2. So acceleration is 5 meter per second square. And putting this value here, I can get 2 into 5, 10 Newton. So basically we are providing the magnitude of the force is 10 Newton, and when we are providing the 10 Newton force, then only this object can move 10 meter. I hope everything is clear to you, right? Let's move to the next part. Now we are moving towards some other definitions as well. So we have impulse. What is impulse? Impulse is basically a large force acting in a very small time, very small duration. As we know that force is nothing but it is dp by dt, right? If I am saying dp is equals to force dt. So force is very large, and this time is very small. So I can say that impulse is nothing but the change in momentum. So impulse is nothing but the change in momentum. Write it down. That impulse is nothing but it is change in momentum. Like imagine that one earthquake come in your area, yeah, or suddenly you are considering that usually in Himalaya region or in Gujarat region we are continuously having very large earthquakes, right, here and there. So when we are having very large force acting on an object for a very short duration, we are considering this as impulse. Now here's the question for you, that a batsman hits back a ball in the direction, like here we are having ball, a batsman hitting the ball without changing its initial velocity. So the initial velocity and the final velocity is same, obviously the direction will be different. If the mass of the ball is 0.15 kg, determine the impulse imparted to the ball. This is very important question, and directly you know that if one object is moving with u, the batsman hits it back, the final velocity will be u, v. Initial momentum you can consider this as mu, final momentum you can consider this as m v, right? So delta p, impulse is nothing but delta p. Delta p is p final minus p initial. Momentum final minus initial momentum. Now momentum is a vector quantity. If you are considering this vector as positive and this vector, you need to take this vector as negative. So if I am considering this vector as negative, I'll be considering this as minus mv, and this will be minus mu. So this is my delta p, and in our question it is given that u is equals to v. So when u is equals to v, we can consider this delta p is equals to, substituting these values, we will be getting 2 mu. So this is very important formula which we will be applying directly after this question. So the impulse or the change in momentum the ball is minus 2 MU, and you can easily substitute this value because we know that mass is given to us as 0.15. Multiply this with 2 and the initial velocity is 12 meter per second, right? So it is 0.3 into 12. 12 3 is 36, 3.6. So minus 3.6. And now what is the unit of impulse? It is nothing but kg meter per second, right? So this is the value of impulse. This is the value of impulse. Let's move. Now, we are going to learn about free body diagram, and in free body diagram basically we require these 5 forces. I'll be using these 5 forces which is sufficient to crack JEE exam and JEE advanced exam. Believe me, only these 5 forces are required. I am a type of teacher which will be telling you some important points, and I'll be covering every syllabus, every point in detail. Only you need to remember these points, and these points are very important. And if you are covering syllabus point wise, you can revise those syllabus point wise as well. So free body diagram forces, first one is the weight, second is the tension, third is the normal reaction, fourth is the friction, and the fifth one is the external force. Individually we must know that where will be the direction of weight, where will be the direction of tension, where will be the direction of normal force, normal reaction, where will be the direction of friction, and where will be the direction of external force acting on the body. So if I have to draw the free body diagram, I should be very clear. I should be very clear with the direction, and the second thing, I should be very clear to how to find out the magnitudes. Right? So first point is very important, weight. I already told you that body पे लगता weight, उम्र के साथ बढ़ता पेट. Right? The moment you become very old, your stomach will come out and your weight will always act downward. This is fixed by the nature. So the direction of force acting on the body due to weight is always downward, always downward. The tension, we have to consider 2 types of tension here. One is in the rope, one is in the rope string. So in string and in rope can only pull the object if it is massless. It can only pull, right? And rod can pull and push both. And normal reaction, normal as the name suggests, it always acts perpendicularly. Friction, it always wants to keep the things intact. We will consider this, and I'll show that how to draw the friction free body diagram, and the external forces which we will be applying, and this will be given to you by the question. Okay, so this will be given. Let's move. Before proceeding to the free body diagram that we will be covering in the next class, from here I'll start. Let's move. I'll telling you that how we are conducting the classes. If you really want to crack the JEE exam, and this time only you want to crack, you do not want to revise, right? And if you do not want to repeat all these concepts again and again, because in competition exam, if you missed out in the first time, then you have to repeat those things another time, right? So if you really serious about cracking the JEE exam in the first attempt, then it is very important that you will be joining the Telegram group, which is very helpful for you. It is not providing you junk or the spam alerts. So here on ALT JEE Telegram group, we will be providing you the PDF material. We will be providing you the free classes notification. We will be providing you the announcement. We will be providing you some prizes, discounts, and all of the things will be happening here. We are not other types of Telegram group where we are spamming the things. We only provide you the best material, the best announcement, and the classes which are happening, right? So only these things will be provided on this group. And also we have our crash course coming for the JEE exam, in which more than 90 plus classes are there. Duration of the class will be until your exam. Syllabus will be covered by JEE experts like me. And one more thing, you can revise all these lectures unlimited number of times. You will be getting the recorded classes, and other than that you will be getting one-to-one mentorship, which no one is providing you, because we believe that your doubts are very important for us, and each and every student is having unique doubts. Like if you are having doubts in kinematics, why would I'll be taking your doubts in Newton's laws of motion. I should be first clearing your doubts in Newton's laws of motion or the kinematics, whatever doubts you are having. So you'll be getting personal attention here in our classes. And we are using the flipped classroom method, which is very unique and which is used by many European universities, where basically we will be providing you 10 to 15 minutes videos of theory, where you can revise those concepts, right? Through those videos, you can revise those concepts. And secondly, we will be providing you the study materials through which you can study on your own as a self-study. And later on, we will be providing you one complete personal dedicated sessions to you, which is known as webinar or the paid classes. And then we will be providing you homework. And it is not about the homework or the assignments which we are providing. We are also checking it, that whether you are solving it or not, and we will be holding your hand. So we are holding your hand so that you can solve this. And the great news I have for you all, guys, that we are launching one complete year course, one full year course for you, where we are not only provide you free study material, also we are providing you personal doubt solving sessions, because we believe that each child is unique. And also we are providing you the full length test. Assignments and DPPs will be provided to you regularly, and we ensure that it is not like other institutes. We are giving you 100% confidence challenge that after attending our course, you will be 100% confidence of cracking the JEE exam. It's not about that whether you are able to crack it or not. It's about the confidence. If you are having the confidence, we believe that you will be able to crack. Confidence is very important, because when the child is losing the confidence, everything seems like impossible for us, isn't it? If you will be very comfortable, very confident throughout in your preparation, then you will consider this, and you will be the person who will be praising us, right? These are the things which I told you that we are providing in our full year course, the complete structured course designed by the experienced faculty. Material we are providing you, major test series, study material, all these things we are providing you. So this will be provided by the APJ Academy. And I hope that many of you will be associated with the other institutes, or you will be getting many feedbacks from the student that this academy is good, this academy is good. But I tell you that whenever you are joining any coaching institutes, you must be looking out these things. Whether they are providing you the calendar schedule. I think that every coaching institute is providing you the calendar schedule. What does this calendar schedule gives you? It gives you a consistency. It gives you that a complete schedule, so that your motivation is consistent, your motivation is maintained. The second thing what the coaching institute is doing is the confidence. We are building the confidence in you. In this era, everything is available on the internet, but the more information is not required to crack the entrance exam. The most and important thing is the confidence whether you will be able to solve the new types of questions or not. And this can only be attained if you are getting the personal attention. So whether you are getting the personal attention or not, it can't be provided when you are having lakhs of students sitting in a class. It can only be provided when we have a limited number of students. So in APJ Academy, we are having a limited number of students where we are providing and ensuring you that you will be confident enough to crack the exam. And confidence is very important, I am telling you. Confidence is very important, right? Because if you miss out on this confidence, then you will miss out on everything. Your consistency will be lagged, right? And the third thing is that you will be able to solve the challenging question. Your capability will be improved. So these are the 4 things which coaching is providing you. And everyone requires coaching. Even you have a well-known personalities in sports or anywhere, you will be getting to know that all these are being coached. Even the Bill Gates and the other persons all on this universe, even the Virat Kohli is being coached. You will be seeing that if you are very well equipped with the Mahabharata, you will be knowing that even Arjun was trained by the Lord Krishna. He was guided by the Lord Krishna, right? So here on APJ Academy, we are providing you structured course, free study material, free test series, free question bank, crash course, assignment DPPs, each and everything. And the most important part is that all these features, you can buy them in parts as well. Imagine that you only want crash course from us. You want to see that how our crash course is working. You can buy that only. If you want to see that how our assignments or the personal doubt clearing sessions works, you can buy that separately. You can buy our test series separately, buy our study material separately, and all types of payments are available. Part payments are also available. So try these things, because these things are unmatchable, which we are providing to you. Personal mentoring, one-to-one sessions as per your requirement, as per your schedule. Any doubt? Any doubt? No? So let's have one question. Let's have one question. I'll be covering one free body diagram. Let's solve some questions. This is one question. Very important question. This is very important question, and can any one of you solve this question? I'm drawing the diagram for you. This is the graph which we are having. Okay, this is the diagram. So basically, a light rope is fixed at one end of a wooden clamp. This is the wooden clamp we are having. And a person hangs on this wooden plank. The person weight is 60 kg. Right? And he wants to climb up the rope. So if he tries to move up, then the tension in the rope will increase, right? And this is making an angle of theta. The theta is given here as 30 degree. So it makes an angle 30 degree with the ground. A man weighing 60 kg wants to climb up the rope. The wooden clamp can come out if an upward force. So here the question given to us as when the upward force. So if I am having one clamp here, and one rope is going from here. This is the angle 30 degree, and the maximum force which can act on that, is given us as 360 Newton. So I can easily solve this question if I get to know that the tension T will be here, and if this is T, I can resolve this in two components perpendicularly, right? So here I'll be getting T cos theta, here I'll be getting T sin theta, and I am getting that T sin theta must be equals to F max, and T sin 30 degree is nothing but 1 by 2, F max is 160, so tension in the string is 720 Newton. So this person can apply a maximum tension as 720 Newton, right? So this person can apply Newton force. So if this person can apply 720 Newton force, then what will happen? Imagine that this tension is 720 Newton. Here the person, right, and his weight, gravitational force, will be equals to 60 into 10, 600 Newton, right? So these are the things, and from here you can easily find out the F net which is acting on that object must be equals to the mass into acceleration, and you have to find out the maximum acceleration in the upward direction with which the man can climb, right? So if he increases the acceleration, the tension will also increase. So there must be some threshold limit of the acceleration with which the person can easily climb. So I am here applying the second law of motion. F net is equals to mass into acceleration. The mass is already given to us as 60, and F net is equals to 720 minus of 600, right? 720 minus of 600, and this will be equals to mass into acceleration. Mass is 60 and acceleration is a. So using these things, I can calculate that what will be the acceleration, right? So it will be 120 divided by 60 is equals to a, and I am getting the acceleration as 2 meter per second square. So acceleration is 2 meter per second square. So this is the acceleration with which the person can easily move. So these types of questions will come in your JEE exams, and there in the next class which we are having tomorrow, you can check the schedule. We'll be solving the police questions, right? So we'll be solving some police questions in the next class. So wait for the next class, right? So monkeys questions also we'll be doing in the next class. So in next class, in Newton's laws of motion, second class, we will be solving previous year questions plus pulley questions. So don't miss the next class, and I also want you all, please share this YouTube channel, please share these videos with your friends so that they will get benefited, and we will be getting the motivation to put more videos for you, and we'll be providing you some exceptional content so that you will be able to crack this JEE exam. And we are bringing you the JEE previous year questions series as well. So don't miss, and I want that you please share this videos with your friend. So share this video and hit the like button if you like this video in any respect that it is helping you. So till then, bye bye, and join APJ Academy if you want to crack the JEE exam this time only. Bye bye. We'll meet again. Bye bye.